Right, hi guys, it's Bob from Greybeard Models, and guess what I've got? I've got another Gaz type truck, and this is Miniart's kit number 35265, 1/35th scale, and as you can see from the box art, this is a weird thing. This is, obviously it's a truck that's been converted to go on rails. So I saw this advertised and I thought, yeah, I've got to add that to the stash. Looks like I'm going to be building a whole series of these Gaz type trucks, but this one was particularly interesting because I like railways, so this is pretty damn cool, and I like the artwork. You know, the artwork's really good with the snow effect and all that sort of stuff. And I couldn't see the name of the artist on the picture, maybe because they wrote in white, but I couldn't see the name of the artist. But I think you'll agree it's quite a funky picture. Anyway, let's get the box open, let's have a look inside. Well, I got the lid off the box, and I just thought while I was doing it, show you these variations on the artwork that are available on the side of the box. But it's a typical Miniart box, and the stuff's all in one big bag, as Miniart do. So we'll get the box, you get the bag opened and all that sort of stuff, and we'll have a look exactly what we got here. I'll be back in a second once I get the bag open. Well, one of the first things I'd say to anyone opening a Miniart box and opening the bag of parts, be very wary. These two parts were loose in the bag, so I don't know if they look okay. It looks like they've just broken off the sprue. But obviously, you know, be careful when you're unwrapping it, because you can lose it. So let's put those to one side. Let's have a look at the instructions first and foremost. It's a typical Miniart layout. I do like this. It's almost like a technical spec drawing of it. This comes as two variants, it says here. Doors, car hood, platform boards can be posed open or closed. It's got an accurate engine. It's got clear parts, photo etch parts, decal sheets for 6 variants, and the railroad track is included, which I think is quite cool. It's typical Miniart layout. Couple of artworks there for the variants, so the other variants will be at the back. So there's another 2 sets of variants there on colour schemes, and there's 2 variants there. I'm really quite tempted to do this. This is really useful. So we'll have a look through this. Just noticed here it says requires a set of 35565 railroad track Russian gauge. Now I've looked at the parts already without going through them, but there is sleepers in there, so I don't know if you need that. This is it's an interesting puzzle, but let's have a look at the instructions and see what they say. The typical Miniart layout, you've got to call out sprues. All the instructions here is what the different graphics mean, and looking at it, none of the parts here are actually designated as not required, so that's interesting. Turn over this side, and on this page you've got various parts of the cab, body sides, wheels, other structures, part of the floor of the body, and that looks like part of the sort of foot plate at the side of the cab. Have a look, and then at the bottom here you've got the sleepers for the track and the main track here by the looks of things, and there's 4 of these, so that's going to be interesting to see how much track you've actually got. But I suppose if you're going to, you know, if you have a big diorama, that could be quite cool. So typical Miniart construction. You've got the engine, putting the engine together, adding the transmission, all that sort of stuff there, which is quite cool, and then putting the chassis together here. So a slightly different chassis, there's an extra piece there, so on top of the normal sort of Ford style chassis, and then going on to fitting the engine into the chassis, adding the differential, various parts here added onto the chassis, and then adding things like the wheels. Interesting wheels, because obviously they're railway wheels, so that's all cool. And then adding the extra parts here around the engine, so you exhausts and a couple of brackets and things, and then the front fenders, or mud guards as we would call them, I suppose. Then adding the supports for the rear structure of the body and the front sort of wings here, the brackets, typical brackets there, and then adding the cab interior and windscreen, and the windscreen wiper, which is cool. The dashboard, oh, interesting. Oh, you can have an open windshield. That would be cool. Mind you, I think if you were driving this across the Russian steppe, you probably won't want that open. You probably want that closed to keep the wind out, but I don't know. Quite good detail here on the firewall. Additional parts onto the engine, pedals going in onto the chassis. I've seen this before on their kits. And then adding the front of the cab onto the chassis. The next page is making the additional parts of the chassis, putting those on, putting the doors on, things like the winders and the handles on the doors. Lots of detail here around the construction of the, I don't know what you would call them, but it's part of the hood or the bonnet and the bonnet sides. So you can actually, for here it says you can actually, you can have it open, so that might be interesting. That could be an interesting variant. And here, yeah, you can have open cover and stuff. So there's little PE handles to go on the side of the engine cover there. Really neat, like that indeed. So the front here looks like the horn. I suppose it would be a railway type horn, wouldn't it, rather than a normal sort of car one. You know, quite a loud one, I suppose. And then the headlamp with a sort of light suppressor. Wing mirror details to go on the side of the cab there, and then the construction of the rear body. Lots of variants according to paint options, so you have to look at that as you go through the instructions, decide which option you're going to do, and then make a marking on here so that you're aware of which way you're supposed to be going. And again, this is like according to the paint options. There's a tool fitting there, looks like a shovel. I suppose you'd have to dig out the snow at some point. And then putting the rear body shell onto the chassis. And then how to construct the railway and put all those together. And yeah, well, cool. Colour call outs, typical of Miniart. Got Vallejo, Mystic Colour, Live Colour, Tamiya, Testers, AK Real Colour, Humbrol, Revel, Mission Models, all different variants there. This will make a really good, a really good paint job. I do like this. Alright, I suppose you can add additional track if you really want to. So that would be good. Yeah, this is a neat colour scheme. This is the Deutsche Reichsbahn, winter of 42-43 on the Eastern Front. And this one is unidentified unit of the Wehrmacht, 1941-43 on the Eastern Front. So you've got really good options here. Really good options to make something odd, something odd and different. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Let's get on to looking at some of the parts. Typical of Miniart, of course. You don't expect many problems. So the first thing we look at, we'll have a look at the decals. I hope the glare does it. I'm not going to take these out because the clear parts are in there. And the clear parts are typical side windows, rear window, windscreen. Looks like headlight, and possibly a glazing part for maybe the tail light, or might be something for that might be the wing mirror, I suppose. I don't know. Let's have a look in here. If you know your Miniart kits, this is the photo etch. There's one sheet of photo etch in there with a few brackets and things. Yeah, very nice photo etch. They do really good photo etch, actually, Miniart. So that's that one. Let's get those out of the way. We got that one, that one, that one, that one. Trying to dig out all the parts that are that one. These are all parts for the rear of the truck. And looking at that, it's got really good wood textures here. Some very faint markings there, which look like they're the position of maybe cross members or something. But yeah, piece that size, and there's no ejector pin marks on these. I mean, excellent quality. Again, looking at these, no ejector pin marks, really nice bracket detail there with the bolt heads along there. That will be the same as that one. And then this one has got your shovel, and this one's, and you've got your details there. Really nice. Let's put those to one side. Let's have a look at the wheels. One set of wheels on the other one. Two sets is the same of this sprue. Excellent detail, of course, almost like you expect it. These wheels look really cool. Really nice bolt head detail here. Really nice. That goes together well with some really nice washes to highlight them. There's two of this sprue. Lots of little brackets and parts on there. And again, no flash. Really nice moulding. Interesting that the lamp here, if you look at this one, I don't know if that will focus, but the lamp has been moulded such that the actual sprue connection is at the rear. Really nice, I like that. Doors, nice detail there. Nice sort of ripple texture here to show, you know, the inner lining of the door. These are the cross members fitting the body, and again, wooden texture on there, wooden grain detail. That'll come up lovely. That'll come up really nice with some weathering and stuff. A few little fragile little pieces here, but I mean, there's no flash. Absolutely no flash. Excellent, excellent moulding. Excellent moulding indeed. Right, so let's get on this one. This is parts of the body, obviously, front fender. Excellent, excellent bodywork. There's some ejector pin marks on the inside of the rear of the cab, which probably won't be seen, but easy enough to remove because they're only minor indentations. Some on the inside of the roof, and again, you probably wouldn't see that anyway. The ejector pin marks here on the cab floor are inside the seat well, so you won't see that once you put the seat in place. And there's a couple of ejector pin marks on the underside of these front fenders, so they'll be, you know, they won't be seen, and they can be dressed fairly easily as well. Let's just go to this one. Again, more parts of the chassis in wood. Great addition there, I think. And then there's various chassis members there. Nice mouldings, very crisp detail. Sorry, went a little bit out of shot, but yeah, really nice. And that sprue's pretty straight, so that chassis is going to go together very well, I think. Put that out of the way, and let's go for the last big sprue. Oh, actually, there's a second sprue there. I've dealt with that one. Right, so this is the major sprue. This is sprue A, and this has got engine details, some of the sort of bonnet or the hood and the side pieces, and all of that sort of stuff, so that they look really good. And one of the things I haven't spotted is what the two parts that were loose are. I've not noticed anything that's broken, and I've not noticed any sort of blank spaces on the sprues, so I'm not sure. I'd have to go back again and go through each of the sprues in detail, but I didn't spot anything missing, which is strange. But you know, we never know. We'll keep those bits anyway, because you never know what you'll come across later. But like I say, I've not seen anything. And then finally, 4 of the railway ones. Just going to lay those out like so, and as you can see, there's quite a few bits and pieces on there. You've got all of these sleepers, as we would call them here in the UK. I think they're called ties in the States. I think you call them railway ties. Anyway, there's some of the parts, really good. No issues I can see there. The rail's nice, really nicely moulded rail, and the sleepers have got a really good grained wood texture. I like some of the detail, like some of these have got like splits in them, which is really good, so they'll be like really nicely worn tracks, or ties as you'd call them, I suppose. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting paint scheme, getting all that together. Well, that's it really. Right, that's a pretty cool thing. I don't know what they are. I have to have another look through. But anyway, that's the Miniart 1.5 ton railroad truck AA type. Put it into my stash of 4 days, Ford AAs, Gaz AAs, Gaz AAAs, and all that sort of thing. Be an interesting collection, I think, when that's built. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that's interesting. I would suggest going out and get it. It's another kit from Miniart, obviously from the Ukraine. So thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now.